Hi guys, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name. Now today, we're talking about part 2 of chapter 12 of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which is chapter 9 of the book of Zion. And today we're starting the dissertation. The chapter's title is, "And the people shall be oppressed." It begins with Isaiah 33:1, which is Zion 9:1. Woe to thee that spoileth, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealeth treacherously, and that dealeth not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. The opening verse of this chapter, Isaiah 33:1, tells us that the treacherous dealers deal treacherously. Now, twice in his book, he speaks these very words. This betrayal of the dealers is at the heart of the police action against my people. It is their first and favorite tactic to entrap us. When we talk to our captors, they threaten us with dire consequences, like 120 years in prison. LOL. That was their threat against me. We are asked to tell them who we get our drugs from. If we tell them, that person will be hunted down and imprisoned in our stead. But the person themselves must set the trap for the person named. It's your freedom or the freedom of your friend. Daniel 11:32-35, Zion 9:2-5. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt with flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. They that understand among the people shall instruct many, yet they shall fall by the sword, and by flame, and by captivity, and by spoiling many days. But when they shall fall, they shall be helped with a little help. But many shall cleave to them with flatteries, and some of them of understanding shall fall to try them, and to purge them, and to make them white, even to the time of the end. But it is yet for a time appointed. Daniel 11 explains that those who choose to become narcs are told flattering lies, and sometimes they are even paid. Then, when they have imprisoned everyone they can, they are set up and sent to prison themselves. By lies and deceit, the oppressors use my people against each other. But those who remain true to their friends are in another passage called the saints of the Most High. They have proven themselves loyal to their fellow Zionites, and they will be rewarded. These people will be able to develop abilities like telepathy and healing. These are all able to become priests. Our prison terms are not meant to be easy, nor our lives. We are hunted like animals and caged like them too. We lose our possessions. We pay the lawyers to send us to prison. We are subjected to the worst possible living conditions by our captors. Some of us are killed. We are sent through hell for our loyalties. But this trial by fire is how we become saints. We are subjected to conditions that make us become better people. We must realize true morality, or be found too human to be acceptable to the Grey. We pay our dues, learning the ways of the Grey. We are forced to grow up and overcome our society. Micah 7:5-6, Zion 9:6-7. Trust ye not in a friend, put not your confidence in a guide, but keep the doors of your mouth shut from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoureth the father, the daughter riseth up against the mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Micah 7, 5, and 6 must have inspired the lawmakers when they decided to institute the war on drugs. The police policies of using Zionite people against each other, no matter the ties between them, is straight out of this passage. How could they read Micah and not know that they're doing evil? Psalms 44, 13 and 14, Zion 9, 8 and 9. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbor, a scorn or a derision to them that are round about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. Psalms 44 expands on the evil that includes the neighbors. It foretells the way we are treated by everyone who isn't part of us. We are a scorn and a derision. We're looked at with contempt and spoken of as if we were vile and ugly. Our neighbors and strangers treat us like shit. Excuse my language. If you're not a Zionite, that is. Isaiah 3:5, Zion 9:10. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. Isaiah 3:5 goes on further, telling us that the oppression will be ugly. Everyone will be pitted against everyone else. The children are taught to turn on their own parents. The least moral are encouraged to do their worst against those who are the most moral. The war on drugs is a practice of dog eat dog, everyone for themselves. No person is too dear to betray. Isaiah 59:4, Zion 9:11. None call for justice, nor any plead for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Isaiah 59:4 tells us that the laws that were passed, which prohibit drug use, were never debated. No one brought forth any evidence as to the right of those using drugs, nor was there any real evidence brought that provided proof that the use of drugs was detrimental to those using it or to society at large. The lawmakers just decided to create the prohibition based on propaganda and the desire of the corporate lobbyists. These laws are not valid. The Constitution of the United States of America, the creator of the war on drugs, is based on the Bill of Rights. No law which violates the Bill of Rights is considered constitutional. Therefore, all laws prohibiting the use of drugs are unconstitutional. The United States of America never had legal right to prohibit drug use. These laws violate not one, but three of our innate rights. The right to the pursuit of happiness, the right to self-determination, and the right to privacy. Because these laws violate the Bill of Rights, they are not valid laws. The war on drugs is an illegal government action. The war on drugs is itself illegal. Ezekiel 22:9, Zion 9:12. The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery, and have vexed the poor and needy. Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. Ezekiel tells the truth about what the government's really doing. This is oppression. The laws against my people are very oppressive. We can't get a good job because they require drug tests. That violates our right to privacy. What is more private than our urine? We can't go to the doctors because they look for drugs in our systems, if we do. We can't get housing because they won't allow us to use drugs in our homes. We can't get government aid, so we starve. They take our children from us. This is persecution. They rob us when we are caught violating the laws. They take our drugs. They fine us for having them. They take our possessions and sell them. They keep the proceeds. They simply steal all that we have. As I have already said, the pigs who robbed me took $2.50 right off the top. They even make us pay for the lawyers whose job it is to put on the show of a trial. Then they make us pay to be brainwashed in the rehabs. This is robbery because the laws are unconstitutional. The robbers target the poorest people. If a person has enough money, they can bribe the officials and have the charges dropped. Or they pay to go to rehab and do a light sentence of community service instead of a prison sentence. The rest of us are stripped of our rights and our possessions. We're sent to prison to be rehabilitated. We are then forced to be watched by parole officers. And it's only the poor that go to prison. The rest get rehab. The police patrol our highways and target people passing through. These people have it the worst and the hardest. They have to go to jail and then pay a huge bond and then return over and over again. They have to pay a high price to transfer their case to their home state or be forced to endure prison without family close by. These strangers are targeted because they're easy prey. Psalms 10, 8, and 9, Zion 9, 13, and 14. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly, as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draws him into his net. Psalms 10, 8, and 9 describes the tactics of the war enforcement agencies and the police forces. They use narcs who pretend to be Zionites, who are gathering evidence to entrap my people. The cops hide in dark places and spy on my people. They use technology to prove their cases. They even call their actions a net. They encircle my people and then take down several dealers at a time, usually by the traders who give up their own people. And coincidentally, usually it's around the holidays. Psalms 64, 5 and 6, Zion 9, 15 and 16. They encourage themselves of all evil matters. They commune of making snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. But the inward thoughts of every one of them, and the heart is deep. Psalm 64 talks about the bust, when they invade our homes and vehicles to look for our drugs, which of course they keep and either burn or commonly resell. In Alexandria, Louisiana, I routinely bought the same pot. My friends got busted, and then the cops were the main suppliers. They planned out these invasions in their cop shops so that only they know who their next target is. They watched me for 7 years. Zechariah 11:15, Zion 9:17 will be where we begin the next time. So, stay happy and high, everyone. Love you. Bye. Later.